Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. That is the R in the RK Stumblingbear, and I'm a reader and a writer. And I'm back today to talk about some ongoing series that I have that if I finished just one book, I would be finished or caught up. So I use Cawpile to track the books I read. A few years ago, G introduced a series tracker as part of that. And so I put all the series that I was in the middle of. And I am in the middle of 250 series. Now, a lot of this is like I've read the first book and I'm like, yeah, I want to continue, but then I haven't continued at this point. And as this is the beginning of a new year, I'm filming this in January, it makes sense to like, hey, what are some things that I can work on? Oh, can I work on series that I'm currently reading or in progress of? And yeah, but I thought it'd be more interesting versus just looking at all the series that I'm currently working on to specifically look at the 56 that I just need to read one book to either finish the series or to be caught up with it. So it's a series that's in progress. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have this list by series name, not book name. So, and it's just alphabetical. So starting at the top, I have The Academia Chronicles by Michelle Segura. This is of the Chronicles of Elantra series, but way farther in. So for the Academia Chronicles, you need to read like 17 of these before you want to pick those up. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of confused on some of the players. And so far, there's 2 out in that series. I read Shards of Glass. I think that's the name of it. Recently in 2025 and really enjoyed it. So I have one that she published last year that I need to read to be caught up on this. Next we have All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace, which I have book 2 on my shelf physically. I actually got this in a Goodreads giveaway, and so I had to go read the first one before you can read the second one, but I haven't read the second one yet. I have this tentatively slated to fill the Pirates prompt for the Our Fantasy Bingo. I'm not doing hard mode, just normal, because pirates are in here. But like, I have this physically, why don't I read it, right? Next is the Amina Al-Sarafi series. This is the first one. The second book, Fates, or Tapestry of Fates, is slated to come out in 2026. It has a cover, it has a publishing date, so I need to read it in order to stay caught up on the series. Now I do read manga, so I do have manga stuff on here. So I have Beastmaster by Yosuke Motomi. When I first found Goodreads in like 2012, they had a feature of recommendations that I really liked. That feature, they still have recommendations there, but before the feature only recommended you things that you had not marked that you wanted to read or had read, and now it tries to like just give you the most popular things. And so it's not a very good feature anymore. But I had picked up a lot of manga because of this feature in 2012. So, and this one was one, Beastmaster. It only has 2 volumes, so I just need to read one to finish it. I need to read the last book in the Binti series to finish that novella trilogy. Read the first one, Binti, loved it, read Home, and I was kind of like, eh. It felt like there was too much going on, or like too many stories it was trying to tell. And so that has probably made me less interested to pick up the third one, but I still want to because, again, it then finishes it off and answers the last questions of the second novella, hopefully. I have Bloody Kiss by Kazuka Furumiya. I have Catnip by Naomi Kritzer. This is a young adult story. I really thought Catnip at first was a standalone and then later found out there was a second one, but I just haven't read the second one. But the first one was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Also has a side character named Rachel, and so I always get excited when I see that. Chance Sisters by Annie Grace. But this is a historical romance series about 4 women. 2 are really sisters, and the other 2 they basically adopted, kind of thing, because of circumstances, but not legally. They just call themselves sisters. And, they did this very cute thing of autumn bride, winter, spring, and summer. And Red Autumn, that was the first one, really enjoyed it. Red Winter, really enjoyed it. Red Spring, DNF'd it. But the thing about romance is you don't necessarily have to read books in order. So I want to read The Summer Bride and finish off the series. Then we have Chronicles of Elantra. I know I just pulled this book up a little bit ago, but this is for the main series. I am caught up on the series, except for the book that's coming out this year, which I think is Cast in Blood. So just need one to stay caught up. My next one is Chronicles of the Red King by Jenny Nemo, which is like a prequel to the Charlie Bone Midnight series, about the Red King, who's the ancestor of Charlie and all the kids. It's a trilogy. I just need to read one more. Next is the Dark Law trilogy by Wick Welker. I read this huge mammoth of a book. It's like 800 pages for the self-published science fiction contest. Really enjoyed it. So I'm like, I want to continue this series. He's now published book 2. I have not looked to see how long that thing is yet, but I do want to continue with this series. And just as I read manga, I also read graphic novels. So I still need to finish volume 4 of Die. I found Die because of the Hugo Awards. It was nominated, read it, really enjoyed it. So I just need to read the last volume. Next is the Dorothy Gentleman series, the first, which is Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite. The second book is coming out in March, called Nobody's Baby. I've been holding this up a lot recently because I really love this novella. It was adorable. Sci-fi mystery. And I'm very excited to continue reading this. So yeah, just need to read one to stay caught up. I then have Fractured Fairy Tales by Alex Harrow. This is a novella series where we have, on the first one, you have a whole bunch of Sleeping Beauty-esque heroines who come together and then all get to forge their own stories. And the second book, I think the main character from the first one meets a evil queen from Snow White kind of thing. So if you're any sort of manga girly, you have heard of Fruits Basket. And there is a Fruits Basket Another, which is like the kids of all the originals kind of meeting. Slightly similar storyline-esque. I just need to read volume 4 to finish that series. I then have Gear Breakers by Zoe Hannah Makuta. Really enjoyed this. This is a YA, which is something I've been moving away from, in a dystopian world where you have mechas. So a lot of fun. And I just need to read the second to finish that duology. I have Great Cities by N.K. Jemisin. I read the first one, The World We Make, I think is what it's called, about a sentient New York City back in 2020 during all of the George Floyd protests. So it's a book that was a 5-star for me, but has its place in history and in my mind past what I would usually. There's some books that just come to you at certain moments in time where they feel like they become more pertinent and real. And that is what this book did. I still need to read the second book though. The next series I have is Howl's Moving Castle. I have read this first one many times. I have read Castle in the Air many times. I have not read the third book at all. I have Invisible Kingdoms by G. Willow Wilson. And this is another graphic series that I found because of the Hugos and started reading it, enjoyed it. Haven't read the third one though. I really enjoy the artwork. The story to me is more a little choppy though. I have Jed and the Junkyard War by Stephen Bowles. This is a middle grade of a boy whose parents disappear and he finds out that there's a portal behind his dishwasher and goes into this world where it's a junkyard and the rules have changed. And so all the weird things that his parents had taught him all of a sudden make sense. I then have Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I've read Jurassic Park many times, really enjoyed it, but I've never read The Lost World, so I just need to read that in order to finish out this duology. And I've heard so many good things about it, just haven't done it. I then have Lawful Times by Daniel B. Green, and yes, this is the Daniel Green from the huge YouTube channel. I was following him at the beginning of my YouTube career because I really liked his book stuff. When he started splitting off into other media, it wasn't my thing. But, he's an author, so I like to give authors a chance, and especially if you're self-publishing. So I picked up this novella and really enjoyed it. But I haven't read Rebel's Creed, the book that comes after, yet. I then have Monster Blood Tattoo by D.M. Cornish. And this is a strange, steampunkish world. This was my first time having where the author had actually did drawings of the characters, so you got to see the characters and images in the book, and I absolutely loved it. It's been a long time since I've read the first two. I know I just have one left to read to finish the series, and at this point I do ask myself if I need to go back and reread the first two, or if I can just pick up the third book and go. I'm probably just going to pick up the third book and go, and I remember what I remember. If you like fantasy and you're looking for something slightly different, this is definitely a series that I would say go pick up. The next series I have is the Portal vs. Elements Origins by Sean Wilson. The first is Drowning Earth. I got this book from, I found this book because of the self-published science fiction contest. This first one is set completely underwater. It's set on Earth. It's like a military sci-fi thriller, but they do end up going to a different world. And the next one is set on that world, but still has a water theme. So I want to continue reading this because this was a lot of fun. The next series I need to finish is the duology of Rape Bearer by Jordan A. Fueco, who really, really loved the first one when I first picked it up and read it. You cover so much in that first book, and I do want to know how it ends, so Redemptor should be something that I should want to finish here soon, right? I have the Reason series by T.J. Barrie. This is a totally interesting take of blending fantasy and science fiction. I mean, your main character is a unicorn. Well, half unicorn, half human. Don't think too hard about how that works, but it does. And yeah, unicorns have been space-going creatures for a long, long time. Also, you have a really badass Maori chick in a wheelchair, so you get some disability rep. Next I have Reliance Sinclair by Heather Texley. This is another series that I found because of the self-published science fiction contest. And the first book on Impulse didn't 100% work for me. There are many things that I just was poking holes at. However, I love the side characters so much that I want to read the second one to see where she's going with this series. And from there, I'll decide whether to continue or not. I have River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. This is Hippos Set in America. And it's a novella duology that I just need to finish. Romantic Encounters by Paulette Golden. I got the first one in like a freebie system. If you are a reader and don't know, there are some various organizations that self-published authors will work with in order to try to reach a wider audience. And I think it was something like read voraciously, which sometimes I can and sometimes I don't. And I had signed up and was getting different, like it sends you book blurbs and you can decide whether you're interested. And so you get to download these ebooks for free. And I found Palette Gold in this way and really enjoyed this book. And I do want to go read the second one. I like my historical Regency romances. Sea of Trolls by Nancy Farmer. Whew, it has been a while since I picked up the first two of those. This is like a middle grade Viking or young adult Viking story. So it's like a historical fiction. But yeah, I only have one book left in this series, so might as well just finish it, right? All right, so next I have the Shadow of the Leviathan series by Robert Jackson Bennett, the first being The Tainted Cup. So this is following Anna and Den, who solve crimes in a biopunk world. The third book, A Trade in Blood, is slated to come out this year. I haven't seen any covers yet, and the date has moved back, so this one maybe more is tentatively on here. I don't know if this third book is coming out this year or not, but if it is, I just need to read one to keep up. I next have Signal Airship by Robin Bennis. This is definitely a steampunk world with a lot of misogyny, and it is written that way on purpose. Author does mention in her note that she wanted to show women fighting men in this sort of instance. And I really enjoyed it. I just haven't yet finished the duology. So next I have the Silver Sights Saga by W.J. Long III. This is actually the second book, which I own, but I have not read yet. I was introduced to this series because of the self-published science fiction contest. Really enjoyed the first one to the point that I pre-ordered the physical copy of the second one, but I was looking around and I don't own the first one yet, so I need to read this, make sure I still love it, and then go get the first one. So next is the Spell Shop series. I have read the Spell Shop and the Enchanted Greenhouse, and coming out in 2026 is The Sea of Charms. It's due to be out in July, so just need to read one book in order to stay caught up with this world. And this is a cozy fantasy series with romance. I then have Spindle Cove by Tessa Dare, which is a Regency romance series that I've just read over the years. There's one book left in this series that I need to read to finish it. And next I have Tales of Elemental Spirits by Robin McKinley, and I think that I'm missing her husband, Peter Dickinson, because I believe that they co-authored both this series. The first one, I think, is water, the second one's fire, and the third one is earth and air combined. But it's a series of short stories, so just want to finish the collection. Next, I have The Alliance, which starts off with Ocean's Kadori. Read this in 2025. Really liked it until I got to the ending where it just kind of cuts off. Not even a cliffhanger, just like cuts off. It's like part one. Tio's Durumi did come out in 2025, but I was still a little pissed about how this ended, so I haven't picked it up yet. But I want to, because I want to finish this story. I have the Books of Umber by P.W. Catanese. This is another series I have been reading over years. Actually, it's just a trilogy. Like, I read one book and then a few years later read the second book, and then it's been some years since I've read the second. I don't really remember a whole lot. Am I going to go back and read the first two? No, I'll just read the third book and finish out the series. If anybody has ever wondered why authors have to do recaps at the beginning of their books when it's a series to keep readers caught up, I'm that reason, because I don't necessarily go back and reread a series. I will just be like, nope, let's keep going. That's why the author does the recap. I next have The Burning Kingdoms by Tasha Siri. I read The Oleander Sword as part of the Amazing Race readathon in June, and now just have one book left. I think it's The Lotus Empire. Just have one book left to finish this. I then have The Cinder Spires by Jim Butcher. I read the first book years ago when it came out, and it took forever for the second book to come out. That when it did, I just had other priority reads going on, so I haven't picked it up yet. But I really enjoyed the first one, so I do kind of want to know what's going on. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed the first one, even though it has a sentient talking cat, which is something I don't like. But it worked. Next is The Cruel Stars by John Birmingham. This is a space opera epic. The first book is an invading... A group that had broken off years before is now back and is invading civilized space. That's kind of the premise of this. I also need to finish the Divide series by J.S. Dews. The Exile was on my favorites list of 2025, but I never got around to reading the third book last year, so I should finish off the trilogy this year. I still need to finish the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. This is the very first one. The First Law itself, it was an okay book. I really liked the second book. Started reading the third book, and it felt like the characters had regressed back to the first book, and so I put it down to a softie enough. I need to come back to this and find out if I actually am going to read it or if I'm just going to DNF the series. I have the Green Hollow duology by Emily Tesh. The first book was The Green Man, I think. This is another novella series about like fae creatures in, I think, a Victorian kind of setting, so kind of historical as well. Next I have The Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. Really enjoyed the first one. Yeah, I know this is totally dude bro fantasy. Dude bro fantasy works for me in a lot of ways. Started reading The Wise Man's Fears. Like, you can see where I have left off. And then I just haven't finished it yet. I just need to read this to be caught up because nobody knows when the third book is going to be coming out. Next is the Locktomb series, which I'm holding Nona the Ninth, which is the book I need to read to be caught up. I'd put it on my Buzzword 2025 list, didn't get around to it. It's on my Buzzword 2026 list. Hopefully I get to read it this year. I really enjoy the series, and nobody knows when Electa is coming out, so I might as well get caught up. I then have the Singing Hills series by Nevo, or the Singing Hills Cycle by Nevo. And this is a series of novellas following Cleric Chi as they go on adventures to collect stories and histories. And I would not necessarily say that this is written in chronological order. It's kind of hard to tell. I would say it's more just vignettes of Cleric Chi's life. And the newest one will be out in May. I was caught up at the end of 2025, which made me excited. The Star Metal Symphony by Alex White. This first one is like August Kitco and the Mechas, or the Space Mechas or something like that. And I really, really enjoyed it. I got it actually as a Goodreads giveaway, so I got a digital copy, which isn't my favorite way to read. Read it anyway. Like I said, loved it. I want to finish. I think it's just a duology. I only saw a second book when I was checking all of these. I have The Tower and the Hive by Anne McCaffrey. This is a series I read as a kid, starting with The Rowan, where you have telepaths in space and they meet other creatures. Read The Rowan many times, Damia, and then the next books follow Damia's children, and I haven't read the last one yet, which I think is called Lion's Pride. So I just need to read one to finish out this series. I'm a pretty big Anne McCaffrey fan, like her Dragon Riders of Pern, but I like a lot of her science fiction, more space stuff as well. I then have The Village Alchemist by Kevin Wohler. And I found this because of NaNoWriMo. I had joined my local group many years ago before NaNoWriMo got toxic and it disbanded basically. And this was an author from one of the in-person meetups. Him and his wife both write. And I read his first book, really enjoyed it, and hadn't heard about the second one. And then when I was checking my list, I was like, oh, the second one's out. So I just need to read one more. This is like a alternate universe paranormal setting. So it's set in the United States, but paranormal factors really exist and people are aware of them. Magic exists, people are aware of it, that sort of thing. I have 1,000 Worlds by Yoon Han Lee. This is a middle grade series starting with the Dragon Pearl. Really enjoyed that. Read the second one, really enjoyed it. I just haven't finished the third one yet. The Telmarian Chronicles by Katja Raymond. This is another blast from the past. This is something I started reading as a teenager, and I read the first one, and it's like epic fantasy. I read the second one, and then I don't know what happened, but I haven't read the third one. And I believe my sister actually still has book 1 and 2 on her shelf. So I might not have been the only one to read it. She might have also read it. We then have another graphic novel series called We Only Find Them When They're Dead. And I just found this randomly looking at my local comic book shop. And it caught my eye because it's in space. And I like the artwork. The third volume has come out and I need to read it in order to get caught up on the series or finish it. I am not even certain. I think maybe finish it from where number 2 left off. But this is like a premise of where they will find these huge godlike creatures, but they only find them when they're dead. And so then humanity mines them for other uses. And then this was not planned, but it's kind of ironic. The last series alphabetically I have is Wolves of Elantra, which is another split off from here. However, that one you can pick up before the main series because it follows a character that you meet in book 1, but the 2 books take place before this series begins. So yeah, it's kind of fun that started with the alternate series, or it started with the Splinter series and I'm ending with the Splinter series. But those are all the series that I am in the progress of, where I only have to read one book to either be caught up or to finish the series. So I make no promises of how many I will actually finish, and I know I'm definitely going to be adding to how many series I have. So yeah, that's just me. Have you read any of these series? If so, I'd love to know your opinions. Are there any series that you think I should prioritize and finish up soon? I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Thank you and have a great day.